Ma'am Beth, good morning. And okay, I think she's experiencing some connection issues. Also joining us is our Vice President for Academic Affairs in Quezon City,
Morning.
Dr. Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Okay, and good morning. Good morning. And also joining us is our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Cynthia Silianes.
Good morning, everyone.
Also, we have here Assistant Vice President for Quality Management and Strategic Initiatives, Engineer Conrado Navarta.
Magandang umaga.
Good morning, sir. And also our Vice President for Human Resources, Cynthia Estayo. Hi, Ma'am Shreek.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Good morning po.
Good morning. All right. So to start with, again, I would like to call the presence of our Vice President for Human Resources, Cynthia Estayo, for the opening remarks.
Again, good morning and welcome to our customer service training program. As you already know, the coronavirus pandemic has forced us to work from home, such that the way we service our students, their parents, and other customers has been redefined. We begin to ask ourselves, what are the key ways that our customer service is impacted by this pandemic? What new skills are required so that what new best practices have to be followed? How do we communicate to our students, their parents, and our customers in these anxious times? We hope that through this morning session, we learn to be part of the solution rather than be part of the problem, so that we learn to strengthen our relationship with our customers by building a very responsive and proactive T.I.P. So with that, I wish you all a very fruitful training session and good morning again.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Chick Tayo. Also, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our Vice President for Finance, Ms. Alicia V. Napod. Hi, Ma'am Alice. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so let's proceed to introducing our speaker for today. I would like to call Mr. Melchor Dizon, our Quality Management and Strategic Initiative staff. Hi, Mel.
Hi, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. So you're about to introduce our speaker for today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
So, again, good morning, everyone. I am Melchor Edison. Together with me is Engineer Jocelyn Delgado Abad. We are both from the Quality Management and Strategic Initiatives Office, and we will be your facilitators for today's session. Just before we formally start, here are a few house rules. First, microphone must be turned off during presentations to avoid interruptions. 2. Questions will be entertained after the presentation. Type in your question in the chat box. One question at a time will be entertained. Type number 2 if you can't hear the speaker clearly. Type number 3 if sound is breaking up or there is a lag. Type question mark if you don't understand anything. And lastly, at the end, all participants are required to answer the evaluation feedback. Indeed, the COVID-19 pandemic has a great impact on providing quality service experience to our customers. Through, through challenging times, our customers expect great service experience while upholding empathetic engagement handholding. A service that is rich and full in meeting their needs while understanding where they are coming from. With that, our session for today is about customer service or customer support, specifically on the importance of excellent customer experience and how to handle irate customers. The learning outcomes for today's session are the following: to learn what the customer service is, to learn the importance of customer service, to learn how to manage and handle customer interactions and relationships, and last, to learn how to best handle irate customers. The contents of our modules for today's sessions are Introduction to Customer Service, Key Elements of Customer Service, Importance of Customer Service, Rules for Good Customer Service, and How to Handle Irate Customers. Our speaker for today is the Quality Assurance Manager of Technological Institute of the Philippines. She facilitates continuous improvements in all organizational units. Prior to joining T.I.P, she became an analyst involved in company under consumer packaged goods vertical. She also worked as process engineer in some FMCG companies in Manila and engaged consultancy work with great emphasis on process improvements for 4 years. She is a student in PhD Business Management, major in Strategy Management at Philippine Christian University, and finished Master of Engineering, major in Industrial Engineering at Mapua Institute of Technology. Without further ado, I now turn you over to Engineer Jocelyn Delgado Abad for discussion of the importance of excellent customer experience.
Good morning, everyone. So let me first share my screen. Again, good morning. So I would just like to acknowledge the presence of our Ex-Man Bomb, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, our Vice President for Finance, our Vice President for Administration, of course, our boss, AVP QMSI, Sir Conrado, and of course, our Vice President for Human Resource. So I would just like to check, am I clear, Mel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So to start this webinar, let us first define, it's important that we first define or know about customer service. Study.com defines customer service as an act of taking care of our customers' needs by providing and delivering professional, helpful, and quality service before, during, and after the purchase of product or services. So it means that customer service does not end when payment is already made, but it continues even after the payment. In an educational institution like T.I.P, customer service does not stop after enrollment. It continues even during online classes, or more so, it does not stop after graduation, but it continues even after graduation. So today, I want you to recall your recent or previous experiences with the following brands. Of course, you will have your own fair share of stories, whether good or not so good, with some of our telecom and connectivity providers. I suppose during this webinar, due to connectivity issues, some of you will be rejoining or will be leaving this webinar from time to time. So I want you to recall your experiences with these connectivity providers. Meanwhile, recall the very first time you ate again your favorite Jollibee or McDonald's snacks, especially after the enhanced community quarantine. Of course, you realize that even though this is very common during face-to-face or before pandemic, after the ECQ, you appreciate these brands. Also, I want you to recall how you feel relaxed and cozy while drinking a cup of coffee in your favorite coffee shops, which I suppose today we can hardly do. Your experience, whether good or not so good, is entirely defined by the level of customer service provided to you by these brands. Therefore, you love or simply hate a brand sometimes because of the customer service experience you had with them. Therefore, customer service is 80% attitude and 20% technique. It is a mixture of knowledge and skills, and it reflects the whole corporate culture. So when I say 80% attitude, we are talking about the culture and the values that a company has and as it resonates the customer service it provides. Therefore, customer service is more than just a smile campaign. As customer service providers, we should ensure that we are really passionate about what we are doing as it reflects the institution's image and culture. Poor customer service, therefore, is somehow reflective of poor culture and norms. And I want to stress that out. That the level of customer service we provide to our students, to our stakeholders, resonates the kind of culture and values T.I.P has. To know more about the outstanding customer service, let me share with you a video from Jeff Toyster. Jeff Toyster is a customer service professional named by Global Gurus.
I often get very different answers when I ask people to define outstanding customer service. That's why I've come up with a universal definition that can be applied to any situation. Outstanding customer service is service that exceeds your customer's expectations. To help explain this a bit more, it's helpful to look at the differences between good, poor, and outstanding service. Good service occurs when a customer's expectations are met. For example, if your customer expects you to be friendly and you're friendly, then you'll have provided good service. The challenge with good service is it's not very memorable. Let me give you an example. Imagine you walk into a room and turn on the lights. You probably won't give it a second thought when the lights come on. That's like good service. It's fine. It's what happens most of the time, but it's not very memorable. Poor service occurs when the experience is worse than the customer expected, such as being rude when a customer expects you to be friendly. Unlike good service, poor service is memorable because we tend to remember things that are different than what we expect. You definitely notice if you walked into a room, turned on the light switch, and the lights did not come on. Outstanding customer service is service that exceeds your customer's expectations. So if your customer expects you to be friendly, you might find a way to go beyond that by making your service more personal. You could try using their name, engaging in a little light conversation, or offering a genuine and sincere compliment. Now, one challenge is customers often have different expectations. So customers could have the same experience and still rate it differently. Imagine an online clothing store has a mix-up in the warehouse and accidentally ships the wrong color item to 3 different customers. The customer service rep handles each call the same way.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm going to help you do an exchange and get you the item you ordered.
Now notice how each customer reacts to the same service.
An exchange? I was supposed to use this as a gift tonight. I can't use this. What do you... What?
Oh, an exchange would be great. I don't know if there was a problem with shipping or if I just ordered the wrong color, so I really appreciate your help.
No, this is awesome. This is awesome. I really like it. I am keeping this one. I also want the color I ordered, though.
Okay, how do you think each customer felt about the service they received? Keep in mind, every customer has their own unique perspective. The first customer felt he received poor service because an exchange wouldn't solve his real problem, which was giving a gift that night. The second customer felt she received good service because she was just happy to get the issue corrected. The third customer felt he received outstanding service because he unexpectedly received an additional item he liked. One of the unique challenges of customer service is your customers decide how they feel. Sometimes they feel great when you don't do anything special. Other times, they're angry, even after you try your hardest. My suggestion is to treat each customer as an individual and try to understand their own unique needs. Here's an exercise that can help. Think about the last 3 customers you served. How do you think they felt about your service? Did you meet their expectations? Were they disappointed in some way? Or did you manage to go beyond what they expected? Thinking about service from your customer's perspective can help you identify more ways to deliver outstanding customer service. When people
So as encouraged by Jeff, I want us to recall how we handled our last 3 customers yesterday. So if you belong to an enrollment group or telephone operators. So let us reflect. How do we handle these last three customers or even last week's customer? And after that reflection, after we have learned from Toyster and think as well as assess that we can do better than we previously did or previously provided to our customers or students, let us decide to be better. Better in terms of understanding the individuality of our customers and the uniqueness of their needs. And shall from now on resolve to provide excellent customer service possible. Why? Because we are T.I.P. So we have a fight song, T.I.P, we're the top of the world, T.I.P. So we are T.I.P. We claim to be one of the best schools. And second, and I want to stress this out, because it's all about students. We work and exist here in T.I.P. because of our students. And despite this pandemic, despite all the financial challenges, the constraints their family encountered over a couple of months already, they enrolled with us. And as an act of gratitude, let us be resolved to provide them the outstanding customer service they deserve. So now that we know what customer service is, let's proceed with the basic characteristics of customer service professionals. First, customer service professionals should be responsive. We should reply to incoming inquiries with urgency, quickly and efficiently. Especially now with the transitioning from the traditional face-to-face mode of education to online flexible learning, our customers or our students have so many questions, and we need to answer these questions with correct information as soon as we can. Yes, this pandemic has caused disruption in schools' operation, the issue of limited workforce, the issue of connectivity, among others. However, in my own personal experience, despite this pandemic, I can share a company that delivers excellent customer service despite the quarantine measures. So I am a pro-life customer. So it's an insurance company, and I forgot to pay my premium over a couple of months. So I need to do reinstatement process. And in order for me to do that, I have to follow some steps. So because I'm busy, I just emailed the generic email of the company. And surprisingly, even just I email a lot of questions, I got answers in less than 2 hours. And this is not just a typical auto reply. This is the complete resolution to my inquiries. And this consistently happened during ECQ or even in MECQ. Moreover, despite that, there is an email saying, along with the email I received, there is an email, a portion there saying that they are asking for my patience and understanding because they are also they are working in a limited workforce. So they are asking for apology for any inconveniences that I can encounter because they are operating in a limited workforce. So I'm sharing this because this is a best practice that despite quarantine issues, despite limited workforce, I had complete resolution of my inquiries and concerns in less than 2 hours, even though I just raised my concerns via email. I hope we can emulate this, that we resolve inquiries, concerns in less than 2 hours, despite that concerns are raised in email only. This is a reflection for everyone now. How quickly do we respond even to email inquiries? And I hope we learn from this best practice. Second, customer service professionals should be available. We should ensure everyone knows where they can find the information they need. Let's give them all possible contacts, official social media that they can reach or help them whenever they have inquiries. Or possible, it's better if we could directly connect them to the concerned department. Have you ever noticed that prominent brands now have Viber communities? Aside from the usual website, Facebook, social media presence, surprisingly, during this pandemic, prominent brands are also available via Viber communities. And that's what I mean by saying be available. Third, customer service professionals should also be service-oriented. We should seek feedback and deliver requests from students, parents, and administrators. Customer feedback help us to improve our services. Their opinions can help us ensure that the services we provide will actually meet their expectations, solve their problems, and more likely fulfill their needs. Of course, we cannot guarantee that every time we can deliver 100% outstanding customer service. But during this challenging time, when there is so much chaos and we see rooms for improvement, let us use this to improve our services. The next topic is about the importance of customer service, which consists of the following: retention, conflict, prospects, turnover, and branding. So let me go over these points through a slide. So what is retention? Retention is the ability of the company to retain its customers over specified period. High customer retention means customers tend to return to or continue to buy product or avail the service that we provide. Keep in mind that customer retention is a popular way to increase company revenue. So before the COVID-19 pandemic, T.I.P enrollment is mostly referrals. This means that we are retaining our students and our students somehow market for us. And we hope to continue that even in this time of COVID and beyond, that our students are retained and satisfied and shall continue to market with us. So that's the importance of customer service. Number one, retention. Second, prospects. If we will not take care of our customers, sadly, our competitors will take care of them. Your customer service team can be a main difference between a prospect converting into student or from a student transferring out of T.I.P. On the average, one happy customer can lead to 9 referrals. We can achieve this through word of mouth, especially if our students are satisfied with the services we provide. They will market for us. Even to this date, no one can argue this is a powerful marketing. To retain a larger customer base, meet the needs of our customers, and strive to make them happy. Keep in mind that excellent customer service help convert prospects. I would like to share with you how Netflix capitalizes word-of-mouth marketing. Netflix boosts its program by tapping into the user data sentiment. They leverage and optimize viewers' reviews and reaction. They even create additional features to retain their customers and win prospects. They offer better experience in streaming by providing additional features. The third significance of customer service is about conflict. We know that all businesses experience customer complaints from time to time. So this is inevitable. But how we handle them can separate us apart from the other. Customers appreciate honesty. Own up to our mistake and make it right immediately. So this is actually the hardest part. When you take responsibility of everything and admit to ourselves that it is our fault. Why? Because this is important because it would facilitate the initiation of the solution to the problem. We should not react in a personal manner to a complaining customer, even he is becoming aggressive. we should react and behave with a professional mindset as much as possible to avoid complaints from escalating. Later, we will discuss how to handle irate customers. I hope I would be able to coach you on how to respond and share, and actually how to handle irate customer using useful techniques. But always remember that great service reduces customer conflict. Next, employee turnover. Employees pay careful attention as to how company treats its customer. When they see positive customer relationship, friendly communication, it makes your employee feel proud to be part of the team. Employees far likely to stay if respect is high and company values are upheld. Good customer service not only to customers but also to co-employees is a good culture and the norm that every company should uphold. Always remember, excellent customer service reduces employee turnover. Last point in the importance of customer service is about branding. Brand values increases to consistent delivery of exceptional service to your customers. As what I've said earlier, word of mouth advertising is priceless. When considering why customer service is important, the reputation of your brand will trump everything else. Before your customer makes contact with your business, they will consider or even research what other people have said before they are confident enough to transact or even enroll with us. It is said that 90% of people will consider the advice of their friends, relatives before purchasing a product or getting a service. So, wag na tayo lumayo. Let's take a good example from Lazada and Shopee. You read customer reviews, right? So, most of the times, these reviews are your guide whether you would continue to purchase the product or service. Why? Because remember that customer excellence raises your brand profile. So, our next topic is about rules for good customer service. Rule number 1, we should always answer the phone. Make sure that someone is picking up the phone when someone calls the business or T.I.P. It is best when you answer the call on the first ring or at least on the second ring. Especially nowadays, if you belong in a service company like T.I.P, the majority of the processes are disrupted due to COVID-19 pandemic. The quick re-engineering of these processes to adapt to the new normal create confusion to some of our stakeholders, specifically students. Because there are so many new things. So this is part of the management of change. But through answering their calls, replying to their emails, responding to their social media comments, we somehow give them the assurance that their concerns are being taken care of. Number 2, do not make promises unless you keep them. Reliability is one key to any good relationship. So like in boyfriend and girlfriend, promises are made to be broken. Okay? So remember that we should think before we give any promise and make them carefully because nothing annoys a customer than a broken promise. So when it comes to customer service, we wanted to always appear like a hero, giving the customer more than what we promised is an edge to their eyes. However, the opposite is a source of major dissatisfaction. So before we make promise, let's assess using 3 points. Number 1, ask ourselves if promise is necessary. Tanungin po natin sarili natin, is it necessary to make a promise? Okay. So consider that what are you trying to achieve? Whether it could be obtained or not. So before you make a promise. So for example, it's Friday today and you promise that by the end of the week you were able to give the document request of the students because your intention is you want to make them happy. But you forgot to make the point that the process is not all within your control. Okay? So you've forgotten to take into consideration that processing a document request is not completely within your control. So instead of promising a complete document request, you can promise a portion of it completed by a certain date, which are within your control. So second point, before we make promise, is to add additional time. This allows you to have flexibility, whether things not within your control make happen. So you have flexibility. Whether you achieve the promise within the date, then the customer is happy and you're also happy and everybody wins. So make adjustments on the time. It allows you to have flexibility. However, sometimes we can't help but break a promise. So when you really broke a promise, be upfront, immediately offer an apology. It makes difference and will go a long way towards repairing the relationship. But don't ever ruin a promise, an apology with an excuse. So let it be genuine. Rule number 3, listen to your customers. Let your customer talk and show them that you are listening by making appropriate responses, such as suggesting how to solve the problem. So it is important that we listen and respond to them and give ample time to talk and articulate the issues that they have. Remember, good customer service is to treat like customers, is to treat how we want to be treated. Okay, even in the most stressful situations. So this portion of the presentation is just an example of danger phrases and better phrases. So let's avoid using danger phrases. And what are the danger phrases? So these are the examples. Number 1, don't say I don't know. It's better to say, that's a good question. Let me find out. Don't say, we can't do that. It's better to say, let's see what we can do. Avoid saying you'll have to. It's better to say, the next time that happens, here's what we can do. Avoid saying, hang on, I'll be right back. Instead, say, it may take a few minutes to find out. Are you able to wait while I check? And avoid saying no at the beginning of any sentence. So we can say better phrases using, well, we may not be able to do that. Here's what we can do. So avoid also danger phrases. So now, we would proceed with the discussion of how to handle irate customers. But before we discuss the techniques, let's first define what irate means. Irate is a feeling characterized by great anger, which means to say irate customers are simply angry or furious customers. All businesses, no matter how much we try to avoid it, we shall experience an irate customers. The key is on how business handle them. It's on how we handle them that can separate us from the others. Specifically nowadays, during this time of pandemic, napapansin niyo po ba maraming galit? There are a lot of irate customers and students. They are irate because of the situation. Okay, I just want to clarify that. They are irate because of the situation they are right now. The subsequent confusions and many new things and uncertainties that brought about by this COVID-19 pandemic. And the many quick transitions just to be able to adapt to the new normal. This contributes why the person becomes angry. So there are 3 types of irate customer. The first one is the one who calls and visits regularly to complain. So this is the chronic complainer. These customers regularly call or dish anything or every tiny issue they encounter. They call in because they are convinced that we don't care about their issues. Okay, so the first type is the chronic complainer who regularly visits or calls just to complain. The second type of irate customer is the one that says, I want to cancel my service. Often, customers don't want to cancel their service. Customers would not likely want to seek for a replacement service and go through the process of starting anew elsewhere. Most of the time, people who wants to cancel a service are just testing the company's dedication to customer happiness. Customer who want to cancel will start the conversation by saying why they are fed up, listing the reasons why they are unhappy, and the expectations that were not met. However, I want you to remember this. That's why I highlight this in the presentation. Then they'll give you a door open for you to swoop in and do anything, everything, just to make them stay. So when you find that open door, swoop in, optimize that so that they would stay. Okay? And surprisingly, when you do that, the level of their customer satisfaction increases. The third type of irate customer is the one that says, I want to speak to your supervisor now, or in our own terms, I want to speak to your head, I want to speak to the VP, I want to speak to the dean, etc. So this one puts you in a pinch because the customer or the student, the parent, is already convinced there's nothing you can do to help. Meanwhile, okay, while we know the different types of irate customers, now I give you the techniques how to best handle them. The first technique is to remain calm. When a customer starts yelling or becomes rude, there's nothing to be gained by responding in a similar manner. In fact, that would probably escalate hostilities. So it's better to maintain control of ourselves even if the customer's tirade makes you feel that you're yelling yourself. Rather, I want us to put ourselves in their shoes. How would we feel if the situation they encountered happened to you? Having a little bit of empathy for the customer can go a long way. So instead, just to remain calm, take a few deep breaths to calm your nerves while the customer is talking. So number 1, remain calm. Number 2, don't take it personally. Remember, customer is not angry with you. They are displeased with the performance of the service we provide. So your feelings are beside the point. Even if the situation seems so personal, even if the insults is directed on you, it has nothing to do with you. Why? Because if you take things personally, you put yourself to suffer for nothing because they are not really angry with you. They are angry with the experience they encounter. Third point, use your best listening skills. The first thing an angry customer wants to do is to vent. To do so, they need someone to listen. And I'm really sorry because at that moment, if you encounter an irate customer, you are that person that should be listening. Okay? So you can't do anything about it. They need someone to listen, and at that moment, you are that person. Listening patiently can diffuse a situation as long as the customer feels acknowledged. So hear them out. When they are done talking, summarize what you have heard and ask any questions to further clarify their complaint. Because of this pandemic, face-to-face transactions are limited, and that customer complaints are mostly received through phone calls. Your tone of voice matters. The right tone of voice. Enthusiastic, but still empathetic, with energy, not low energy. These are actually essential, okay, in technique number 3, as use your best listening skills. To know more about active listening, again, let's watch Jeff Toyster in his video.
Customers aren't always great at describing exactly what they need. Sometimes they tell rambling stories. Other times they ask for one thing when they really mean another. They can get confused, hurried, frustrated, irritated, or even silly. Understanding your customer's needs requires active listening. This means giving customers your full attention and purposefully trying to understand them. I'd like to share a few techniques for face-to-face listening, serving customers over the phone, and helping customers via written communication. Let's start with face-to-face. Face your customer directly and make eye contact to let your customer know you are focused on them. Concentrate on blocking out distractions. It can be hard to stay focused on the person you're serving unless you really concentrate. Ask clarifying questions. The answers will help you get the information you need to serve your customer. Paraphrase to confirm understanding. You can avoid misunderstandings by recapping what you heard and checking with your customer to make sure that's what they meant. Customer service employees sometimes develop a bad habit of interrupting customers instead of listening. Watch what happens when an employee does not use active listening skills.
Hi, can I help you?
Yes, I have a question about your sale. Is it 20%?
It's 20% off the lowest price, yes.
Okay, but what I really want to know is if I can get the discount on the...
You can get the discount on the sale items as well.
That's not what I was asking. How long does the sale last?
Oh, it lasts until Sunday.
Thank you.
We can hear our customers better if we resist the urge to jump in and give customers an extra moment to describe what they need. Now, listening to customers over the phone can be even more challenging because you can't see them and they can't see you. Here, the most important thing you can do is to block out distractions. Let me show you an example.
And what we're definitely going to need from you, though, is your zip code and an appropriate email address so we can send you that invoice. Sorry, I'm here. What was it that you said? You don't want an exchange?
You probably noticed quite a few distractions that made it difficult for the customer service rep to listen to the person on the phone. Eliminating these distractions can make it easier to understand what the customer needs. Serving customers via email doesn't technically involve listening, but it's still important to pay close attention to what your customer needs. We get so many emails throughout the day that it's a natural tendency to skim and scan messages. This approach can be dangerous because it may cause you to miss an important part of the message. A way to avoid this is to slow down and think carefully about what your customer is asking. Here's an example. Dear customer service, I've just moved and have a new credit card. I'd like to update the address on my account and provide my new credit card number. How do I do this? Thank you, Morris. Now let's look at the response. Notice the customer service rep answers Morris's question about updating his address, but completely fails to answer his question about providing his new credit card number. Hi, Morris. Updating your address is easy. Just click on this link, log in, and add your new information. Chances are, Jenny missed Morris's second question because she was in a hurry to respond to his email. Now Morris will need to contact the company a second time to get the help he needs. It may seem counterintuitive, but you can actually serve customers via email more efficiently by slowing down just a little bit. Take just an extra moment to try to understand what your customers are really asking and answer their questions fully on the first try. That brings us to one last active listening tip that can really take service to the next level. Try to identify your customers' unspoken needs. For example, employees on a large college campus are trained to notice that "I'm lost" look and proactively offer directions. They even carry small maps that they can use to show pedestrians where a building is located or show drivers where to find parking. You can use that same concept to develop your active listening skills. Over the next week, try to identify or anticipate as many unspoken customer needs as you can. You'll likely find the more you listen, the better you'll understand how to quickly help your customers.
As you can see, different techniques are used when it's face-to-face, via phone call, or through email. But there is one common denominator there. understanding the needs and the uniqueness of our customers. So we have one revelation, especially to those who are part of the enrollment group. Our team, the re-engineering team, as well as the QMSI, specifically during the MECQ, we mystery called most of you, either one time or twice. We pretended to be a student or applicant asking several inquiries. And we want to congratulate you because some of you are really excellent, that despite this training, you handled our call well. But unfortunately, I would just like to say also and share that some of you are sounding bossy, some are low energy, and some are confused also. So how can you lead a confused student if you are confused also? So let me just reenact, okay? Some of you said like this way or handled the phone call this way. Hello, sino po ito? Ganun po ba? Sige, anong question nyo ho? Sige, ganito gawin mo May question ka pa? Sige, tawag ka lang kapag may question ka pa ha. So, actually, when I received that call, or when I was entertained by that person or our employee, I felt that the person is not interested to assist me because of very low energy. And I hope, Julie, for this portion, actively listening to customers, we were able to gain something that by active listening, we were able to get the needs and the uniqueness or the differences, individuality of our customers. The next technique, how to handle irate customer, is to use ASAP technique, which stands for apologize, sympathize, accept responsibility, and prepare to help. Let's first go with apologize gracefully. Apologize whether the customer's complaint is legitimate, valid, or even it's not valid. Remember, a simple straightforward statement, it's all that is needed. So, it's important to say the word, I'm sorry, okay? Like, I'm sorry, you are not happy with our service. Let's see what we can do to make things right. But again, as what I've mentioned earlier, don't ruin an apology with an excuse. I have experienced a lot of times when an irate customer stops yelling after an apology was mentioned or was bestowed. Okay? So nicereply.com in their blog said, eventually it will happen. So we cannot guarantee 100% excellent customer service every time. So eventually, it will happen. There would be an irate customer. Something will go wrong, mistakes will be made, and customers will be upset. When it happens though, the right thing to do is to own up to the mistake, apologize immediately. In fact, genuine apology is more effective than service recovery. There was one particular survey from Carey School of Business, which highlights that 37% of upset customers became satisfied after there was a return or they were offered something in return because of the issue or their complaint. However, if the business says sorry on top of the offering or apology offering, the satisfaction increased from 37% to 74%. So the first rule is to apologize gracefully. Number 2, actively sympathize or empathize. So the difference between the two, empathy is the ability to understand, while sympathize is, for me, higher form of empathy because now you are taking part. Okay? You put yourself as if you are on the shoes of the customer. So that's sympathy. After the customer vents, all the customer wants for you to do is to understand where he is coming from and how he or she feels. Express sympathy for their unpleasant customer experience. Respect and understanding will go a long way towards smoothing things over. To understand more about empathy, Let's watch this video.
Empathy is one of the most important customer service skills. It allows you to understand how a customer is feeling and use that insight to find ways to make them feel better. Let's look at a scene where empathy is important.
I can't believe there's so many forms to fill out.
Yep, there's a lot. Please have a seat and I'll call you shortly.
Thanks.
That employee gave his customer a pretty cold reception. He may have been doing his job, but he didn't make the customer feel good. Here's what that same scene might look like with a little empathy.
I can't believe there's so many forms to fill out.
Oh, yeah, I know. Seems like every other week there's some new law that requires something new to be signed, you know? I did a great job on these forms. Thanks for being so thorough. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks. I've had a lot of practice. Yeah.
I bet. If you'll have a seat, I'll call your name shortly.
Thank you.
All right.
Did you see the difference? That little bit of empathy instantly made the customer feel better. Our ability to empathize with a customer comes from having a similar or relatable experience. So the key is to draw upon your own experiences when serving customers. That's easy to do if a customer makes a comment about filling out a lot of paperwork and you recently had to do the same thing. Other times, empathy is a bit more difficult. For example, a technical support rep may find it hard to relate to the frustration a customer feels because she can fix her own computer. Or a medical lab technician may have a hard time empathizing with a patient's nervousness if he's never had blood drawn to test for a potentially fatal disease. Here's an exercise to help you empathize with your customers if you've never been in their shoes. You may want to download the Empathizing with Customers worksheet to guide you, or you can just take notes on a piece of paper. Start by thinking of a situation where a customer was upset. Why do you think they were upset? For example, we saw a customer who was mildly upset about having to fill out a lot of paperwork. The next step is to think of a situation where you had a similar feeling. Think about how you felt in that situation. The employee might think about a time when he had to fill out a lot of paperwork himself. Perhaps it was a rental application, a car loan, or a new doctor's office. Recollecting that experience could help the employee understand that filling out a lot of paperwork is tedious and sometimes confusing. The final step is to think of ways you can demonstrate empathy to your customer. Showing a customer you understand how they feel can validate those feelings. You want them to believe that you're there to help. The employee empathized by listening to the upset customer, acknowledging the mild annoyance caused by the paperwork, and then commending the customer on his thoroughness to help the customer feel better. There are a couple of things you should always keep in mind when using empathy with your customers. First, expressing empathy is separate from solving your customer's rational needs. The customer may still need to complete all the paperwork, even if he doesn't want to. That doesn't mean the employee can't empathize with the customer in an effort to make him feel better. Second, empathy must be sincere. There's a world of difference between someone sincerely saying, "Very sorry that happened," and saying, "I'm very sorry that happened." Finally, it can be difficult to empathize with a customer when we're concerned about ourselves. Let's say you've had a long day and have a splitting headache. You're tired and all you can think about is going home and crawling into bed. The very next customer you serve may need your empathy to feel better, but it will be hard to do if you're concentrating on your own needs. Empathy isn't always easy, but it's one of those skills that's often the difference between good and outstanding customer service.
I like this video because by being sympathetic, it gives us an impression that we affirm and definitely understand the student's feeling or situation. Specifically nowadays, when people need more understanding, more love, more consideration. So from now on, let's try to practice more empathy or more sympathy. Because why? This is the new norm in customer service. Sympathetic customer service is an effective tool for pandemic, okay, when catering customers. So the next point is under ASAP technique is accept responsibility. Even if it's not your fault, accept 100 responsibility. Own it. I recognize that this is probably the toughest part. Chances are you had nothing to do with the problem. However, it is part of your job as customer representative to take responsibility to help initiate the situation. If you don't take responsibility, how can you proceed with the last step in ASAP, which is prepare to help? So it is really important to accept 100 responsibility. So the last point under ASAP technique is to prepare to help or find a solution. Once you understand why customer is unhappy, it is time for you to offer a solution. Put forward your own fair, realistic solution towards answering the problem. In most cases, that's all the customer is looking for and may result in providing some extent of satisfaction. So again, under ASAP technique, we have to do the following: apologize, sympathize, accept responsibility, and prepare to help. The fifth technique in handling irate customer is to thank your customer. It may seem small, but often ignored or overlooked. But if you assess the situation, the customer, whether student or parent, is stuck up with you in chat, in text, or in phone call, no matter how upset the parent or the student is. So let your customer know that you appreciate his patience. It shows that you appreciate both his time and custom. Kind words can be short and easy, but it echoes and resounds. And these are endless. Last point is take a few minutes on your own. After the situation has been resolved, the customer is on his way. It's helpful for you to take a time out. Even if you handled the situation properly and in the most professional way, it is still a stressful experience. Rather than the stress linger on inside you, take a short walk, okay? Or treat yourself a snack. For me, I just eat some chocolates, okay? So no wonder I'm gaining weight because I eat more chocolates. Okay. So to summarize how to handle irate customers, number 1, remain calm. Don't take it personally. Use your best listening skills. Use ASAP technique, which stands for apologize, sympathize, accept responsibility, prepare to help. 5th point, thank your customer. And last but not the least, take a few minutes of your own. Okay. Aside from irate customers, there are different types of customers, which can also be challenging to handle. So we call them challenging customers. So I want you to reflect again to the last 3 customers that you handled yesterday or over the last week, and try to assess whether what type of customer does this customers belong, or if you yourself, what type of challenging customer you are. Okay, so the first type of challenging customer, aside from the irate, is the chatty customer. Chatty type is fond of talking in a very comfortable or informal way. Okay, so what are the few strategies that you can do when you handling or when you encounter a chatty customer? Remember that satisfying customers' needs is more critical than expediting the call or conversation. So keep the customer focused by answering close-ended questions. So this delimits the customers from telling a story, describing a scenario, etc. Because close-ended questions are answerable by yes and no. The second type of challenging customer are the ones that hard to understand. Often, hard to understand customers are those that speak foreign language or use different dialects. So these are, like in our case, foreign students. Okay, so what are the strategies that you can do? Number 1, inquire if there's anyone else you can speak or talk to. Okay? or if there's no one to talk to, no one else to talk to, speak slowly and clearly. Paraphrase back to ensure that you understand what the customer is saying. The third type of challenging customer is the confused customer, which on my opinion, based on my opinion, this is where most of our customers or students belong. Okay, the confused customer. Confused customers needs clarification. By gathering facts and active listening, you can effectively expedite the transaction and moderate their confusion. So what are the strategies? Offer more guidance. Keep your explanations brief and straightforward. Of course, you should also eliminate the use of technical language or jargons or even abbreviations. And last but not the least, which is the most important part, is be patient because the person is confused or the customer is confused. He needs more guidance. The third type is the chronic complainer, okay, which is most likely the irate customer. Okay. Chronic complainers believe that the world is out to get them, but the truth is that they may not know they complain so much. So what are the strategies? Actively listen, paraphrase what you have identified as main points. Ask how the customer thinks the problem should be solved. So I still believe that for chronic complainer, this is one of the best strategies. I believe in a quotation, if you see the problem, maybe you are the solution to the problem. So the chronic complainer sees a lot of problem. Maybe he could say one of the solutions. Okay, and focus the customer on action plan. The next type is the aggressive customer, or also called as the bully. Bully uses superior strength or influence to intimidate you, typically to force you to do what he or she wants. So what to do, or the strategies to do when you encounter a bully? Allow the customer to vent. Do not argue. Use knowledge and facts, because this is something that they can't argue with if it is a fact. Okay, and get straight to the point. So another type of challenging customer is the know-it-all customer. Dealing with a know-it-all customer can be difficult. Often, they want to show off how much they know about the technology, about the service, about the product, etc. So what are the strategies when you encounter a know-it-all customer? Get straight down to the business. Rely on your product or service or company knowledge. So it's important that you know. That's why for TELOps, we have spills, we give them kits, because they should be knowledgeable. Let the customer know that you are aware of his expertise. So acknowledge that he is an expert and you are willing to learn from it. The last type of challenging customer is the silent customer, or we call them the brick wall. Silent customers are those who do not make complaints when they experience bad customer service. They may not convey their problems to the company, but they voice their opinions to others. Okay. So tahimik pero matinik. Okay. So strategies: don't compel to fill in the silence. And unlike the chatty customer, which is the first challenging type of customer, you use close-ended questions, diba, dun sa challenging customer. In a silent customer, encourage talking by asking open-ended questions so that the customer would be able to describe or somehow tell you a story and give you background about the issues and the concern. Just thoughts to ponder. Good customer service is about bringing a customer back and sending them away happy. So what are the key takeaways for this training? Maybe you will forget some of the points, but I want to give you this takeaway so that you would be able to have some insights after this training. So you may be able to forget all the techniques in handling irate, but these are the things that for me is important. Number one, as customer service representative, as part of the enrollment group, as part of the TEL-OPS, as part of the servicing department rather. So be responsive, be available, and be service-oriented. Second takeaway, understand the individuality or the differences as well as the needs of our customers. Number three, when dealing with an irate customer, let's use ASAP technique, which means the following: apologize, sympathize, accept responsibility, and prepare to help. Before I give you my major key takeaway, I want us to recall our T.I.P core values. Okay. So I can share to you 2 of the 5 or 4 core values that we have. So which are community spirit and service orientedness. So we claim to have these core values. So let me go down to my major key takeaway. That the level of customer service in a company resonates the corporate culture and values of the company. Okay. So if we translate that in T.I.P terms, the level of customer service that T.I.P provides to its students, parents, and other stakeholders resonates or reflects the kind of culture and the kind of values T.I.P has. So I hope that we would be able to showcase community spirit and service-orientedness in all customer services that we provide to our students, parents, and other stakeholders. With that, I leave the floor to HR and to Mel for some of the workshop activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jed. How's everyone? Good morning. By the way, I'm Kat. Okay, so Mel, are you ready for the workshop, for a short workshop? So everybody will have their takeaways for this training. And I hope you have the factor in terms of handling customers. Okay, I hope everybody will participate. This is so exciting. Mel, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mel.
So, again, good day, everyone. And right now, I'll be discussing the instruction for our final activity or our activity for today's session. So, our activity is about the role playing. So, some will act as customers and some will act as T.I.P employees. We shall have 3 scenarios, and in each scenario, we shall need 2 volunteers. If there is no volunteer, we shall choose from the list of attendees. After each scenario, you need to criticize how the T.I.P employee responded to its caller or customer. So for the first scenario, a student calls to inquire about the enrollment requirements, processes, and scholarships and discounts. The student has a lot of questions but mostly with the same thought. So in Tagalog, makulit yung student at paulit-ulit yung tanong. So as a customer service support, how will you handle the caller? So is there any volunteer from the group? So if there is no volunteer, I choose Miss Queenie Persil to act as the employee. Miss Queenie, are you there?
Yes po.
Yes. Miss Queenie, you will act as the employee. For customer, Sir Fritz Cortez. Sir Fritz. Mukhang wala si Sir Fritz. Si Miss Daisy na lang. Miss Daisy Vergara.
Hello, sir.
Yan. Ma'am Daisy, ikaw po yung
yes
student. na makulit na student na magtatanong and si Miss Queenie ang mag-a-act as T.I.P employee. So, you may start po.
Kring, kring.
Hello, good morning po. Good morning. This is Queenie from T.I.P Manila Admissions Office. May I know what you are calling to?
Regarding lang po, magtatanong lang po sa mga requirements po kasi yung mag-enroll kasi ako as freshman, kaso lang po, wala pa po kasi kulang po ako ng requirements. Pwede po bang malaman if ever incomplete requirements ay pwede po ako mag-proceed sa enrollment online po?
Pwede malaman kung ano yung requirements na kulang mo?
Ano pa po, meron na po akong card pero wala pa pong saka meron akong card pero yung sa with honor po kasi ako, wala pa pong pinoprovide po yung school ko na certificate with honor po.
Okay, so yung Form 138 mo ba is original copy na yan or not yet?
Not yet, ma'am. Ano lang po, soft copy. Kasi nga, due to pandemic po, hindi pa po nare-release po yung original daw po.
Okay, pero yung soft copy na yan is from the original copy or just the portal grades?
From original, naman po, na Form 138 po.
Okay. So, if that's the case, you are with honors, right? So,
yes po.
Kapag kasi hindi ka pa nakapag-provide ngayon ng Certificate of Honors, we'll base your discounts dun sa lowest grade mo ng second semester as well as yung average mo. So may I know what is your lowest grade ng second semester as well as your final average?
Ano po, ang general average ko po is 90 and then pinakamababa po is basta po pasok po sa with honor po siya. And then para matanong ko din po sana kung ano po ba yung discount po ng with honor po. Kasi according sa flyers kasi nung may nag-retalk sa amin din, sinabi yung mga discount pag may mga honors, saka mga entrance, regarding sa mga entrance discount.
Okay. So for students kasi with honors, we offer free tuition fee and basic miscellaneous fees for the first semester, and then ang babayaran mo na lang would be yung other fees. So part yun ng miscellaneous fees, and that would be around 6,100 plus. And then ang required down payment would be 3,500 to be officially enrolled ngayong semester.
Paano po, ma'am, paano ko po masusure na mare-reassess po agad yung ko po, yung sa tuition ko kasi wala pa po nga yung sa scholarship ko.
Okay. So yung sa tuition fee mo, as long as ma-provide mo naman yung original copies, yung lahat ng requirements mo.
Pwede po bang ma'am, i-honor ba yung certificate of honor ko? Halimbawa, through soft copy ko lang din po ipadala o kailangan nyo po talaga original copy po?
Kailangan talaga yung original copy. Pero kung hindi ka makapag-provide nga, i-base namin yung discount mo dun sa grades mo nung second semester, nung grade 12 ka.
Same pa rin naman po yun, ma'am, if ever.
Depende kung ano yung lowest grade mo. Kasi minsan kasi may mga with honors na yung lowest grade nila is below nung, for example, 87 yung lowest grade mo. So yung for 87 yung lowest grade, ang discount mo would be yung tuition fee, 100% tuition fee, and then yung miscellaneous fees, yun yung babayaran mo for the first semester.
Okay po. Yun lang po. Tawag na lang po ako ulit, ma'am, pag meron pa po akong itatanong at kung kompleto na po yung requirements ko. Yun lang po. Salamat po.
Thank you, Ma'am Queenie and Ma'am Daisy. So I have a question for our attendees. If you are the customer, how would you rate the customer service of the employee? So is there any volunteer to answer? If none, I choose Sir Awa. Sir Awa?
Yes, sir.
Sir, if you are the customer, how would you rate the customer service of Miss Queenie?
Medyo fierce.
Why, sir? Why?
Para po kasing mabait yung customer.
Hindi sir, yung ano sir, yung pagsagot ni Miss Queenie, paano mo siya i-rate?
Knowledgeable ma'am, sir, ano, doon sa
Sa
sinasabi niya.
processes. Okay. So thank you sir. So our next
Mel,
scenario.
so let's allow Ma'am Maya. Ma'am Maya, since under nyo po si Queenie, so how would you rate Queenie?
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Yeah, Queenie is very good in terms of giving the customer the information that she needs. And the tone of the voice is something like accommodating also to the customer. So that's why maybe the customer was also pleasing to answer also Queenie. That's all.
So I do agree, kahit balik-balik na rin nung caller, yung questions niya na sasagot nung ating admission personnel. So, okay? So let's have scenario number 2, Mel.
Okay po. Scenario number 2. After 3 days since the class opening, the student calls to follow up on loading courses to his Canvas account. The caller is irate because of the slow response to his concern. As customer service support, how will you handle the caller? Is there any volunteer? If none, I'll choose Miss Nika Diaz to act as the employee. Ma'am Nika? Ma'am Nika? Mukhang wala si Ma'am Nika. Si Ma'am Sol? Monica? Ma'am Sol? Mukhang wala rin si Ma'am Sol. Si Miss Aubrey? Wala daw po mic si Ma'am Sol. Miss Aubrey Menoza? Ma'am, are you there? Wala rin.
Si Ma'am Sara ay volunteer. Ma'am Sara Caridad. Sara Jane Caridad. Okay.
Hi, ma'am. Good morning po.
Okay, so you will act as the employee, and then for the student, bigyan natin ng magandang match si Madam.
Si Sir Fritz daw.
Sir Fritz
Nag-volunteer. Sir
Okay.
Fritz.
This is based on experience.
You may start po.
Hello po.
Hello, sir. Good morning po.
Ayan po, ma'am. So, nangyari kasi ito, ma'am, lagi, no? Yung canvas ko po, wala pong T.I.P Gmail. Tapos po, bayad na po kami. Tapos wala rin po section yung sa canvas ko. Late na po kami sa klase po. Ano pong gagawin namin, ma'am?
Okay po. Sir, let me ask first if when po tayo nag-pay ng down payment for our enrollment?
Last week pa po.
Last week pa, sir. For the payment channel that we use to settle the payment?
Video po, over the counter po.
Over the counter. Opo. Sir, I will put you on hold to check po the status of your payment.
Okay po.
Upon checking, sir, your payment is already posted. We just have to request for the official receipt to our teller. We will coordinate this now, and we will check the status of the courses that you have enrolled. Okay, sir, your OR is now available. We already uploaded your account in the Canvas. Your courses is already uploaded there, but some courses has no assigned instructor yet. That's why you cannot view your courses under your Canvas dashboard.
Ma'am, paano po makikita po yung yung Canvas po? Kasi wala pa pong T.I.P Gmail.
Yes, sir. Can you access your Aries account now, sir? Is it already accessible?
Opo.
Yes, sir. Okay. Once you log into your Aries account, we have there my TIP Gmail menu. That is where your TIP Gmail convention are displayed with a temporary password. So
Opo.
you may try to log in, sir, using the gmail.com, or you can go to our website, www.tip.edu.ph. Just click the TIP email, and then it will redirect you to the login page. Sir, just key in the my TIP Gmail that is indicated on your Aries account and the temporary password. After logging in, your inbox will load and there is the Google Apps. Kindly click the Google Apps, sir, and then scroll down and look for the TIP Canvas icon. That will redirect you to the Canvas report.
Ma'am, gagana na po siya ngayon kasi kanina hindi eh.
Yes, sir. Since we already upload your course and your payment already posted, your course is already available in your Canvas account. Kindly check po.
Salamat po.
You're welcome, sir. It's our pleasure to help you with your concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Sarah and Sir Fritz. So again, may question po for our attendees. Same question po. If you are the customer, how would you rate the customer service of the employee or Miss Sarah? Is there any volunteer to answer? If none, can we have Miss Angie, one of our LMS coordinator? Ma'am? No mic. How about Sir Rufo? Sir Rufo?
How about Sir Marco? Hi, Sir Marco.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Just to give comments to how Ma'am Sarah handled the call earlier. Given that Ma'am Sarah is an ITSO personnel, she's very knowledgeable on how the process of Canvas should be done, and she handled the call well. She also gave several options to the customers, to the customer rather, and I think she did well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Marco.
I just have one comment. So baka medyo nakalimutan lang ni Ma'am Sarah. The opening spiel is important. So good morning. Although the spiel of Ma'am Sarah at the end is very good, but it's also important that when we answer the call, we greet them. So we have to have an opening spiel that good morning or good afternoon. This is Sarah from ITSO, TIP ITSO, so something like that. Okay. So those are rooms for improvement.
Okay, let's proceed to our last scenario. Scenario number 3. A parent or guardian calls to follow up with the request for documents. The caller is irate because of the delay in delivering the request. As customer service support, how will you handle the caller? Is there any volunteer from the group? If none, I'll choose Miss Jimly Alutaya as the employee. Miss Jimly? Wala si Miss Jimly. Si Miss Gretchen Bakal from registrar. Wala rin mic si ma'am. Wala daw silang mic from registrar. So can we have Sir Salido?
Good morning, Sir Mel.
Good morning, sir. And to act as the customer, can we have Ma'am Aryan? Wala si Ma'am Aryan. Si Si Sir Marco daw. Nag-volunteer si Sir Marco. So Sir Marco and Sir Anton. Sir Anton will be the employee and Sir Marco will be the customer. So you may start po.
Anton, opening spiel.
Sir, mag-ring ka muna ng telephone.
Kring, kring.
Thank you for calling T.I.P. This is Anton. How may I help you?
Follow up ko lang po yung document request ko. Tagal-tagal na po kasi. Last week pa po yun. Wala pong reply yung registrar.
Oh, thank you for calling right now, sir. And I'll be willing to assist you with your concern. Sir, for you to be assisted further, may I have may you provide some information about yourself, sir? May I have your name and then the documents that you have submitted, and then from what campus, sir, are you enrolled or are you planning to apply for?
Name ko po Juan de la Cruz. Student number ko po 0320017. Kailangan ko na po kasi yung documents eh.
Yes, sir. Sir, may you repeat again your student number, please?
0320017.
0320017. Thank you, Mr. Juan. Sir, may I put you on hold for a minute or two? I will just have to confirm to the registrar's office if your documents are already available.
Gaano po katagal yung pag-hold nyo sa akin?
Sir, maybe for a minute or two, I'll just have to communicate with our registrar staff to further ask if your documents are already available, sir.
2 minutes lang po ah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Hello, Mr. Juan.
Yes po.
Thank you for staying on the line, Mr. Juan. Sir, upon checking with the records of your application from the registrar officer, they said that your documents are already available, sir. What would be the mode, sir, that you would want to avail for this service? Since as of the moment, most of our documents are being released on site.
Paano po to? Actually, long distance call to. Nasa ibang bansa ako. I just need the documents for my work here. Can you send them online or courier service?
Mr. Juan, for the online service, as of the moment, our school is still working for a possible facility online to further assist you. But maybe we could have some options, like for example, if you have some relatives here in the Philippines, which you could ask, maybe you can have them. You just have to give them an authorization letter and then maybe an identification card just to assure that they are related to you, and so that you will also be receiving the documents properly, sir.
Ready for pickup na ba? Kasi pwede kong papuntahin yung kamag-anak ko
Yes,
ngayong araw.
sir. Yes, sir. It's actually ready for pickup.
So, authorization letter lang? Wala nang iba?
Sir, you may have an authorization letter, and then you may also give, I guess, a digital copy of your ID just to make sure that you are related with the authorized person, since this is your document. And maybe you can also attach, sir, 3 specimens of your signature for security po.
Okay. Sige. Thank you. Sure yan ah. Marireceive namin ngayon. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Is there anything else that I could help, sir?
Wala naman. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Juan. Thank you for calling T.I.P. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Sir Marco and Sir Anton. Ang galing, parehas. So is there someone here who wants to comment on their performance? Mukhang lamang.
Can I comment?
Yes, sir.
Well, I commend both Anton and Marco for the role playing. Well, Anton handled the situation well. From the tone of his voice, he's very patient and very courteous in answering the questions of Marco, who sounded really annoyed with the delay in the servicing of his requests. So I think Anton actually followed the rules. He offered options to the caller. instead of saying no, this cannot be done, he actually offered options on how things can be carried out with the request of Marco. So I think it's one good lesson that everyone should know. And to know that also, to give options is for us to know the process or the policy of the school. So I think it's better if there are questionable options you think that you can offer to the caller or to your customer, it would be wise to ask your superiors about it first before delivering it, giving it to your caller. Sabi nga ni Jen kanina, no, we cannot make promises and then we break them. So it has to be very definite that when we tell them something, we promise them something, like we offer them an option, then we are true to it that we can deliver the service. Yun lang. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Dong. So that ends our activity for today's session. If you have question, you can open your mic or you can also type your question in the chat box. So again, thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Miss Zed, Miss Mel, and Sir Dong, and all those who participate in the short workshop. And would like, meron po bang gustong share their experience on handling customer service, like yung may Irate, so that kung meron pong gusto mag-share, is there anyone would like to experience their experience or they applied what they have learned today? Meron po ba? Is there anyone who would like to share the experiences? Not only with T.I.P, but with also with other customer service with other companies. Ako, mukhang wala po ata. Sige po. Okay, so for today, so for me, as also I'm a customer, but just to share with you my takeaway, okay, for this training from Miss Jed's presentation. So through customer service training, we employees improve our skills and acquire new ones. Okay. And then also this program focuses on improving our communication, our listening skills, and problem solving, and especially managing different type of customers. We as a T.I.P employees, we did hindi lang external customers. We do have also our internal customers. And meron, ito si Sir Art po meron. Sir Art, meron daw gustong i-share. So this is really a fruitful training for us, especially we would like to become a customer service support. Okay, so Sir Art, may gusto po ba kayo i-share before we end? Okay, and before we sing the T.I.P fight song, I would like to invite, and I'd be delighted to invite everyone to attend our trainings for the month of September. So here are the list of trainings, and we're going to invite you also, or we're going to send an email for this training topics. We have the on-screen impression management, GSU training, customer service excellence. It is a webinar, recorded webinar. So if you attended this training, I suggest or I recommended to attend this customer service excellence webinar, and of course effective communication in retaining customers, productivity and positivity in a work from home setting, stress management in time of COVID-19. And please don't forget to answer the evaluation the feedback. The link is here, and I think it's in our chat box. Okay, so I hope everyone have their wow factor in this training, and I would like to thank everyone for attending, and we will be happy to see you again in the other trainings. And so thank you, happy Friday and happy weekend.
Kat?
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes. Yes, Xiao.
Yes, I think we'll be having a T.I.P group picture before we proceed with...
Yeah. Thank you for reminding, Xiao. So everyone, let me show your faces so that we can have our community picture.
Hello, everyone. Yes. Oh, hi, everyone. Before we proceed with the T.I.P fight song with our closing remarks, I would like to request everyone to please turn on your camera for the TIP group picture.
Thank you, Shao, for reminding. I almost forgot.
Are we good now, guys? All right. Okay,
Okay, go, Shao.
1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. All right, so I think we're done, right? So thank you so much, everyone. Like what Kat
Thank
mentioned,
you.
happy Friday, happy weekend.
Thank you po.
And if you have any concerns or any any questions about the training, you may just approach us and then we could relay it with the speaker, or you can go directly to Mom Jed. All right. So thank you so much.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
T.I.P. T.I.P. Fight, fight, fight. T.I.P. T.I.P. Fight, fight, fight. Lift up your heart and hold your head up high. We're gonna win, we're gonna fly. We're gonna reach our lofty dreams. We've got the strength, we've got the mind. We've got the grit and the determination. We've got the courage and the drive. We will exceed all expectations. We're gonna take them by surprise. We're on top of the world. T.I.P. We're the tip of the top of the world. We're on top of the world. T.I.P. We're the tip of the top of the world. Together we are invincible. United we are strong. We do our very best. On top is where we belong. We've got the grit and the determination. We've got the courage and the drive. We will exceed all expectations. We're gonna take them by surprise. We're on top of the world. T.I.P. We're the tip of the top of the world. We're on top of the world. T.I.P. We're the tip of the top of the world. T.I.P. T.I.P.
Thank you, everyone.